chamber, and once the speaker takes his chair, we shall hand you over to plenary. The presiding speaker is the Senate Speaker, 𝐆𝐻𝐕𝐄𝐑𝐿 Kingi, and he's approaching his chair, and once he takes the chair, we hand it over to plenary for the proceedings. Welcome and enjoy the proceedings.
I beseech you to behold with your abundant favor and blessings us, your servants, whom you have been pleased to call to leadership positions in this republic. We seek guidance to treat and consider all matters that shall come under deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests you've committed to our charge. Amen. Clerk, is there a quorum? Sergeant at Arms, kindly ring the quorum bell for 10 minutes.
To be rung for 10 minutes. And this is in line with the standing orders of the Senate, and that is standing order 39 and standing order 40. Under the Senate standing order 39, the required quorum before the Senate can sit is 15 senators, and the quorum at the commencement of a sitting under that provision of standing order 40 is that at the commencement of a sitting, if there is no quorum present when the chair is taken at the time appointed for a sitting of the Senate, the Speaker shall immediately after the prayer order the bell to be rung for 10 minutes. And that is the process that is going on now. The quorum bell is being rung for 10 minutes so that members of the Senate can get into the chambers for the start of this afternoon session. Just to keep you abreast with what is going on, can see that we have the legal team of the County Assembly that is on your screen now, led by one Dr. Mudomi Diankolu, and there is also Muriuki, an advocate at Mawera too. And just to guide the listeners on what is going on, the governor is now adducing his evidence, and that evidence shall, that the witness who was on the stand before the Senate went for lunch or broke for lunch will take the stand again for crux examination by the County Assembly, and thereafter if there is any re-examination. And the governor had indicated, can see the legal team of the governor led by Elisha Ongoya and Elias Mutuma, and there is Okubasu Duncan. They are ready to give evidence in trying to defend the impeachment of the governor. And the governor indicated in the morning that she was going to call for witnesses, and the third witness is coming back for crux examination rather. And the once that is done, can see there is the county governor for Meru, Kawira Mwangaza, together with her lawyer, Elias Mutuma. once the Senate resumes, the governor will have to call her final witness, rather, and thereafter, the senators will have an opportunity to field questions and requests for clarification by senators. And once that is done, then the Senate will continue rather to hear the closing statements on behalf of the County Assembly, and they will have 1 hour or 60 minutes to do so. And after the County Assembly has made their closing statements and remarks on this matter, the Senate will have the governor, rather, will have 60 minutes or 1 hour to make a closing statement on that impeachment. And then the Senate now, after that, will resort to debate on that motion for impeachment, and thereafter vote on whether to impeach the governor for Meru County or not to uphold that impeachment by the County Assembly of Meru. Just see the quorum bell has stopped ringing. The speaker is on. The speaker is, we are over, we see if there is quorum. Yeah.
Clerk, proceed to call the first order, please.
Order number 1, communication from the chair. Order number 2, hearing and determination of the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the Governor of Meru County.
Now, I'm informed when we took the lunch break, witness Dixon Munene was on the stand, and he was being cross-examined by the County Assembly team, and that they had 30 minutes to conclude that cross-examination. So kindly let the witness take the stand, and counsel for the County Assembly, you may now proceed with the cross-examination. You have 30 minutes.
belong to? The governor.
Regulate me, there is an AIE order under that office.
There is an AIE hold, of course, but the document is clear. These are transactions in the office of?
Of the governor.
Good. Please confirm, Mr. Munene, that the governor's explanation for all these prepayments is that they were impressed. Is that what the record shows?
That is not what the governor's explanation is.
Sergeant at Times, is there a problem with the witness's microphone? And Mr. Mnene, when you're responding, get closer to the microphone so that we can hear your response.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think it's now clearer.
Mr. Munene, you know there is a matter on the record. Are you saying the governor's explanation is not that the prepayments on these IFMIs were impressed, that our sister Rose Kinya and the other officers were holding?
The explanation is that it's a recurrent expenditure.
Can I refer you to page 8 of the governor's response? Are you there, Mr. Munene?
No, I am not.
Page 8 of the governor's response, Mr. Speaker.
Tell my advocate to guide with documents. Tell them to give me the documents.
At page 8, paragraph 1.1.12, what is the explanation the governor offers?
As late as 15th August 2023, the mover of the motion at the County Assembly publicly through his Facebook page stated that the PA, driver, and protocol people were entitled to facilitations. That's a statement of fact.
What does she say at paragraph 1.1.7 of our defense?
So which page?
Page 7.
However, no embezzlement of funds has been established. Rose receives money as an imprest holder from time to time as per DMs.
Good. So you agree with me, sir, the governor's explanation for these prepayments, specifically the ones to our sister, is impressed. It's there in black and white, Mr. Munene.
Yes, I agree, it's impressed.
Good. To the best of your knowledge of the law, sir, can a public officer hold two imprests at the same time?
What do you mean by two impressed?
Exactly that. Two imprests. Can an officer hold two concurrent imprests?
Yes.
Are you familiar, sir, with the Public Finance Management in bracket County Government Regulations of 2015?
Yes, I am.
Can you read Regulation 93, paragraph 4, subparagraph B.
Regulation 93, it's on classes of imprests.
Yes.
An imprest shall be issued for a specific purpose, and any payments made from it shall be only for the purposes specified in the imprest warrant. There are two types of imprests, namely temporary or safari imprests and standing imprests.
If you pause there, the imprest alluded to in the governor's response is the temporary or safari imprest. Correct or incorrect?
I don't get the allusion.
You just read for us, there are two types of imprest.
Yes.
One is standing, and the other one is temporary, also known as safari. Now back to the defense you read for the governor. Didn't she say these were imprest for per diems?
Yes.
Therefore, you would agree with me, the governor's explanation refers to temporary or safari imprest. Correct or incorrect?
Correct.
And in fact, we are told in subparagraph 3 that these are meant for official journeys. Correct or incorrect from the regulation?
Where?
The same page you're looking at, regulation 93, subparagraph 3.
Says that temporary imprests shall be issued mainly in respect of official journeys and are intended to provide officers with funds with which they can meet traveling, accommodation, and incidental expenses.
Sir, is it possible for an officer to be on several safaris on the same day so that they would have several imprests on the same day?
I don't think there is a place where we have gotten several imprests on
Just
the same
answer
day.
my question, sir. We'll get there. Is it possible for a human being to be on 5 safaris on the same day?
It depends.
It depends.
Yes.
That takes me to paragraph 4, subparagraph B. Can you read it for the Senate?
Still on Regulation 93?
Of course, sir.
Before issuing temporary imprests under paragraph 2, the accounting officer shall ensure that the main objective of the journey cannot be achieved by other cheaper means. B, the applicant has no outstanding imprests.
Good.
C,
The accounting officer.
Are you here? Are you ready to worship God? Are you ready to swim in the presence of the Lord? If you're ready, say a big amen. Come on, put your hands together and say amen. Makofi ya nguvu ukisema amen. Hallelujah. Endelea na makofi ukisema amen. Hallelujah. 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 Amen, amen, amen. Unajua kuna watu wanaweza kuwa wamekuja na uchovu, amechoka kazini. So there is that feeling of
The voucher, right? Correct or incorrect?
Yes, it does.
That surrender voucher must be authenticated by the examiner. Correct or incorrect? Must it be authenticated by relevant officers in the finance department, sir?
Yes.
Should it be accompanied by documents to show that indeed the safari was undertaken? We just read safari in the regulations. Should they be supported by documents showing that indeed the journey for which the imprest was issued was undertaken?
Not necessarily. There are other documents that can accompany that. For instance, that there is an invitation for a certain safari.
If the imprest we've read is to meet traveling, accommodation, and incidental expenses, is it your evidence that in accounting for the imprest, no documents are to be submitted by way of receipts, by way of boarding passes, and related documents to show indeed the money was spent for these purposes? Is that your testimony, Mr. Monene?
No, that is not my testimony.
Good. In the surrender forms and vouchers that the governor has presented to the Senate, have you seen any supporting documents other than the work ticket, the same work ticket used for 4 months, 17 times?
Which one is that?
I'll read the number for you because we went through it yesterday. It is work ticket number 824574, and it appears, for the record, Mr. Monene, in pages 104, 118, 129, 138, 150, 189, 204, 244, 245, 262, 269, 276, 284, 292, 300, 312, and 327 of the governor's BADO.
So the documents that you're referring to me are different.
Have you read their serial numbers, sir?
I've read their content. The
content is of course different because it's a forgery, but is in the serial number the same for all of them?
It is not a forgery, it's a photocopy.
Any evidence to show it is a photocopy before this Senate?
Yes, there is.
Can you point it to us? And as you look for the evidence, as you assisted, sir, aren't these work tickets pulled from a serialized book? Wouldn't photocopying be antithetical to the very reason for them having serial numbers?
Form ikijipa, mimi nani. Now it's time to get extreme.
Were to take it, Mr. Monene, that these are photocopies, which they are not, the photocopying would itself be an act of fraud, wouldn't it? Because it would defeat the purpose of having a serial number. Isn't it? Would you agree, sir?
I have not seen any evidence of serial number that you're referring to.
It is your case. Okay, you can be shown because you know it's in black and white, Mr. Munene. You can't deny the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. It's in black and white.
Okay, sit.
You will agree the reason work tickets have a serial number is to facilitate accounting, isn't it?
I may not entirely be in a position to respond to
You're
that.
not in a position.
Yes. But what I know is that this is a blank form that has been photocopied by the driver.
As the
And
driver comes to
kept-
testify as the lawyer, the only person who can tell the Senate that form was photocopied is the one who photocopied it. Correct or incorrect? Is that the law, Mr. Munene?
Sorry?
Is it the law that you're speaking to hearsay when you say it is a photocopy? Did you witness the photocopying?
I know it has been photocopied.
Did you witness with your 2 eyes, Mr. Munene, photocopying?
No.
Good. So you cannot testify that it's a photocopy. Mr. Speaker, I led my remaining minutes to Mr. Maranya to do the remainder of our cross-examination.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Just before I begin, Honorable Speaker, I must admit that the witness is my classmate. Nevertheless, I'll proceed to do the cross-examination. Mr. Munene.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Please confirm to this House that you are not in charge of County Public Service Board.
County Public Service Board is an autonomous body at the county government.
Very good. It's an autonomous body in the county government.
Yes, established under the County Government Act.
Meaning it's an independent government, or arm of a government. Sorry, independent organ of a government, county government.
Yes.
Please confirm that matters employment falls within the realm of the County Public Service Board. Matters employment in the county government of Meru.
Matters recruitment. Matters employment fall both in terms of employees under the public service and also the County Public Service Board when it comes to recruitment.
Well, please confirm again that there's a specific spokesperson of the County Public Service Board other than yourself.
The County Public Service Board has established it as a secretary who is also
Who
the
is the
CEO of the
spokesperson,
board.
CEO and the spokesperson of the board?
The Act does not say that he's a spokesperson, but I know he's a secretary and the CEO.
In other words, can you speak on behalf of the board?
No.
No. You have made an allegation that the payment of one Dr. Toiti, Kenneth Kimathi, Paul Mwaki, was done in accordance with the court order. Is that so? You still
Yes.
making the same argument?
Yes, I do.
I want to refer you to the letters that sent the stated persons on compulsory leave. Are you there?
Which page are you referring to?
This page 336 of the County Assembly, Volume 2. Are you there? Kindly mindful of time.
Yes, I am.
Please read the second sentence, beginning with while on compulsory leave.
While on compulsory leave,
Yes.
you will be entitled to your full salary
Yes.
and other benefits that go
With your
with your contract.
Very well.
Yes.
That means This letter is dated when?
6th of September 2022.
6th of September 2022. Written by who? Is it the county secretary?
It is signed by Rufus Meriti.
What is the designation of that particular person?
Used to be a county secretary and head
Was
of public service.
While on compulsory leave, you'll be entitled to your full salary and other benefit that goes with your contract. That's all? Please confirm that the court order dated 7th of October 2022 did not order the county government to pay salaries. Please confirm that particular court order. You can refer to it in where is it? The court order of 7th of October 2022.
It's on which page?
For page 418. Sorry, 416, sorry, my apologies. Does it make reference to salaries?
For which volume?
It can be shown by my colleague. Page 416 of the Governor's Bado. Sorry, on the County Assembly Bado. Does it speak of, does it order the county secretary as well as the county governor to pay the petitioners their salaries? Please, mindful of time.
Okay, the order issues conservatory orders.
Does it order you to pay, does it order the governor to pay salaries as well as salaries? Does it speak of a salary in that? The order number one. It is.
Yes, the interpretation of that order indicates that salaries should be paid.
Where specifically?
By restraining the respondents, whether by themselves, their offices, or their servants or agents whatsoever, from implementing the impugned decisions contained in the letters.
Where does the letter that we read is so express on payment of salaries? This particular one, does it speak of salaries payment?
This particular order freezes the letter on compulsory leave.
Does not talk on salaries. It is a factual.
No, a subsequent one talks on salary.
No, not this one. We are going to the.
Not this one that you're talking about.
This one does not order you to pay the salaries.
No, but there is a subsequent one in the same matter, which you appear for the petitioners.
Do you still want to maintain that your government, that you are ordered by the court to pay salaries?
Yes, I still maintain that.
In accordance to?
In accordance to the court order.
Court order dated?
Let me take you there.
Court order dated? Kindly, mindful of time again?
Yes. The court order dated.
I'm only interested with the date. Dated when?
You're interested with the payment of salaries.
No, what is the date of that court order? What is the date of that court order?
19th October 2023.
19th October 2023, a year later. Confirm it's a year later. The other one is dated 7th of October 2022. That is a court order that came a year later. True
that wants to confirm whether they are being paid their salaries.
Yes, please confirm whether it's a year later. I want to refer you to page number 34 of the County Assembly Bado, volume 2. Pages 34, sorry. It's a copy of the payslip. Are you there?
Page
34 of our Bado.
Yes.
The payslip is dated March 2023.
Yes, it's for the salary of 2023 March.
March.
Yes.
Very well. Now I want you to the final question. The very final honorable speaker. Whose responsibility is it to employ on acting capacities?
Sorry?
Whose responsibility is it to employ on acting capacities? Is it the County Public Service Board?
No, the County Public Service Board does not have that responsibility to employ on acting capacity.
Yes. Who has that responsibility?
The County Public Service Board can only employ in acting capacity where it has the responsibilities of employing those other, filling that position in substantive.
I am asking a simple question. Matters employment, whether in acting or substantive capacity, whose responsibility is that? In other words, I can refer you to section 59(1)(b) of the County Government Act.
I know section 64 also explains further that a public officer can employ in acting capacity, deployment, or designation.
Honorable Speaker, could I have just 2 minutes to wind up? My apologies. Just 2 minutes. I don't want to act outside the timelines. But I could have just...
Okay, you have 2 minutes to conclude.
Very well, thank you. I want to refer you to your letter signed by yourself on page 347 of your bundle, of your index. (347), quickly, please. Dated 9th of March, 2023.
Yes, I am there.
347.
Yes, I am there.
Who is that individual that you are appointing to act in an active capacity as Director of External Partnership?
I am deploying.
You are deploying?
Yes.
To act from where to where?
I'm deploying
from?
To the Directorate of External Partnership. Still within the...
From where to where?
Not from where to where, because it's still within that department.
It's very clear, from Office Administrator, Office of the Deputy Governor, to Directorate of External
Partnership Affairs.
Is that true?
Yes.
Did you have the powers to do that in accordance to section 59(1)(b) of the County Public Service Board?
In accordance to section 64, I hand the powers to.
When you are doing this particular responsibility,
yes,
were you not acting under the directions of the governor?
No, I was acting as the acting county secretary and head of public service when we did not have that, when that position had not been filled.
You are deploying this person specifically to the office of the governor. True or not true?
That person was still in the office of the governor as an administrator to the deputy governor.
I'll make reference to one Edwin Murangeri, Kenneth Mweti Riongo, Gitobun Kanata, who are acting chief officers. Were these particular persons chief officers of substantive departments before they were deployed to act in those respective capacities?
Which one, sir?
I will refer you to pages 295 of volume 2. Are you there?
The County Assembly's document?
Yes, yes, page 295.
Yes, I am.
Please read item number 6 on 𝐊𝐀𝐖𝐈𝐑𝐀. Just after the word food security, read the next.
To move from the Department of Trade, Tourism and Cooperatives to Department of Agriculture and Food Security as the acting chief officer.
As acting chief officer.
Yes.
Please also read number 3, Kobia Faith Kadure.
To move to Department of Economic Planning and ICT to perform the functions.
Now, and very last, in acting capacity again. Very last, read number 12, Kenneth Mweti Riongo. Very last.
To move from Department of Legal Affairs, Public Service Management and Administration to Department of Trade and Cooperatives to perform the functions of the chief officer trained.
In number 12, is there a reference to in acting capacity? Number 12, that's Kenneth Mweti Riongo.
No, because it's a deployment.
Is there a reference to acting capacity?
There is no, because it's a deployment.
There is no, I take that.
Yes.
Did this particular person go through the...
Counsel, your time is up.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. Counsel for Governor, would you wish to re-examine?
Mr. Speaker,
Council, how
sir,
much time?
I will take 5 minutes or less.
Good.
Now, I have a few questions for you, Mr. Dickson Munene. And one of the questions is about your status in the county government. You have told this House in cross-examination that you were the county secretary or acting county secretary, or that you were holding on to more than one docket. Can you explain that in detail and the circumstances under which that happened?
Okay. when on 30th September of 2022, the governor nominated myself together with 9 others for appointment as CECs. And the list was forwarded to the assembly. Only 3 of us were approved. And on 2nd of November 2022, when we assumed office as a CCM, Legal Affairs and Public Service Management and Administration, it effectively meant that the term of the other CCs had lapsed. And then the governor to reorganize the executive in such a way that I had to own some position in acting capacity. When we came here for the impeachment motion last year on December, there's an issue that arose that the position of the county secretary had not been properly filled. And the governor, there was a recommendation that the position of the county secretary should be properly filled. That is through advertisement and recruitment and approval by the assembly, the county assembly. So the process began, and thereafter I was given the position to act as the acting county secretary and head of public service, while still owning my substantive position of the CCM, Legal Affairs and Public Service Management.
Okay, so it's that context that you have given this testimony?
Yes, it is.
Now, who are said to have embezzled funds from the county? Are they county officials or other citizens?
Sorry?
Who are said to have embezzled the funds? Who are claimed to have embezzled funds? In terms of designation, or is it correct to say that these are public officials who are attached to the county? Is that correct? That's allegation?
Yes.
And these are under your docket, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
So that it is in that capacity that you are giving your testimony today?
Yes, because these are officers that are under public service.
My good friend, Mr. Thiankolu, made reference to the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act and the issues of incurring expenditure prior. What is your explanation about that?
Okay, thank you. I'm referring to it.
Or
referring
put
to,
it more directly,
yes.
Is it unlawful for a prepayment to be made? That is the submission.
It is not unlawful for a prepayment to be made,
yes, because
the regulations that it referred to, if you go to Regulation 91 of the Public Finance Management Regulations of 2015, Regulation 91, Regulation 1 states that for the purposes of this subpart, an interest is a form of cash advance, which is a prepayment, or a float which the accounting officer may authorize to be issued to officers who in the course of duty are required to make payments which cannot conveniently be made through the cash office of a government entity or bank account. So this is where prepayments comes in.
Okay, so that is a legal basis for prepayments.
Yes.
Who is the accounting officer or the AIE holder in the office of the governor?
I indicated there is a chief officer. Initially, there used to be a chief of staff.
Are there mechanisms of accountability in respect to those to those holders, those office holders?
Yes, there are.
Is there a distinction between IFMIS and imprest?
Yes, there is.
Just in brief summary, so that we, to the best of your understanding.
The imprest is those prepayments and advances.
Yes.
IFMIS, it's actually a generated document from the IFMIS. which indicates the payments that have been made.
Indicates a payment that has been made.
Yes.
Okay. There was reference to payments that were made during the tenure of Governor Kiraitu, Honorable Kiraitu Murungi.
Yes.
Can you confirm, if it's true or not, that those payments were made actually on the same date? Is that something you're able to confirm?
Yes, I can confirm.
Is that the position?
It is the position.
So that the fact that a payment is made on a single day doesn't mean that that becomes an impeachable offense.
Yeah, and actually, they indicated the reasons why these payments are made on a single day is because at times the county can take 2 months or so, 3 months before the funds are released to the county. During this period, officers are sent to places. During this period, activities are going on. The county is still running. But on the basis that when these funds land to the county the account, then those people who have incurred expenses, they are going to claim those expenses, and the expenses might be paid in a day, even 5 of them, when the money is available.
So that is not irregular?
Yes, it is very regular.
Okay, we will. There was an issue I wanted to clarify about the court order. I saw the stay order, what you meant, what you understood by the stay order and what it meant.
Yes, what I meant is that after these particular officers were given letters, were sent on compulsory leave, the court order froze that letter, those letters sending them on compulsory leave, meaning that they are entitled to their benefits and salaries as a consequence of that court order.
Okay. We can then answer the last question, which was very difficult, with its simple answer. Mr. Mudomi asked you about a worksheet, and he put you to task whether it was a photocopy or not. Do you remember that question?
Yes, I remember.
Okay. Was that document the original?
It was not the original.
So it must have been a copy?
It must have been a copy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, honorable senators, we will have 10 minutes for questions and clarifications, starting with Senator Mutinda.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And my question will go to the Council for the Governor. And let me start by saying that Article 195 of the Constitution is very clear in regards to the powers of the County Assembly in regards to being able to summon for any person to appear for purposes of giving evidence or information, and Part B of that compels for the production of documents. On Volume 2, page 31 and page 32, we have letters that the CEC had been requested to be able to issue audited reports for financial year 22-23, knowing very well we are currently in financial year 23-24. And apparently, the response to the letter indicated that still, the Auditor General was in the process of auditing the financial statements, which forms part of the response that they had requested. And yet, we have already closed financial year 22 and 23. So I would like a clarification as to why the CEC Finance was not in a position to be able to submit the audited reports as required as per the PFM Act. And on the same, PFM Act Article 91 states very clearly that the County Assembly should be able to set the capping for the interest amount. Did the Assembly have the opportunity to be able to cap the amount of interest that is supposed to be used as required? Because we've seen 78 million interest, but what we have in the records as per what has been tabled is amounting to a lesser amount. So we'd want to know the levels of the amounts of the interest. And finally, because I don't think I'll get maybe another opportunity, I would be very curious to know, Mr. Speaker, finally, if today, which is a very key day for this decision for the Meru County, knowing that this is the second impeachment process, Madam Governor, being the second one, you realize all the MCAs in the first round agreed to your impeachment. The second round, the same MCAs agreed to your impeachment. Madam Governor, knowing very well that the County Assembly are responsible for passing your budgets, how do you then plan, if you go back to the same county, how will you ensure that these same MCAs who still impeached you for the second time are still going to ensure that they pass your budget so that you can continue with the developments required in Meru, and you're going to offer the Meru people the services, quality services that they deserve? Those are my simple questions, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Council.
I didn't get that question, but there are some questions to the witness. Perhaps he can start with those.
Okay, thank you. Probably the question that was posed to me is on why the CEC Finance. What response the CEC Finance gave to the County Assembly when requested to submit the IFMIS, an extract of the IFMIS, as per the letter dated 9th October 2023. And the response that the CCM Finance gave, that these are statements that the Public Finance Management Act under Section 164 makes provisions for the county treasury of the county government to prepare and submit to the Auditor General the annual financial statements in respect of county governments. And the CCM further saying that it is upon the completion of the audit that a report is submitted to the County Assembly, where within 3 months after receiving the audit report, the County Assembly can take appropriate action. So the audit process is ongoing. When this process finalizes, the audit report will be tabled to the Assembly, and the Assembly can take appropriate action on the same.
Talking of financial year 23-24.
Senator Tabitha, you certainly cannot do that. Proceed, Council.
Just answer.
Okay. I'll let the witness also answer the second question, which was on why we accounted for less than what was set out there.
Thank you. And why we accounted for only 2 million as opposed to the 78 million that has been alleged here is that the manner in which that count was framed, the allegation was that the governor has misappropriated funds through specific named persons who are indicated and collectively referred to as the governor's relatives. It is on this breadth that we endeavored to account for payment that has been made to these particular specific persons amounting to 2 million.
Okay, and then the last question that you asked, or first which was overlapping, we have said that there are consequences for disobeying a summon by the County Assembly. That is set out in statute, so that if somebody is summoned and that person does not appear, the County Assembly, just like this House, has something it can do to command the enforcement of the orders. So that I think that that is there. It doesn't mean that somebody has to be impeached. There are cases where we have seen, for example, this House summoning someone who doesn't appear. Doesn't mean those people then become a subject of an impeachment. That's what we are responding to in the context of this discussion.
Senator Maruma.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mine is some clarification from Mr. Munene. We have some invoices that are not signed by the authorizing officers. You have indicated that they have not been signed because the original documents which have all the signatures are with the external auditors. But Mr. Speaker, my knowledge of accounting has it that the documents that are taken to the auditors are actually original copies and you are left with the photocopies. So I don't know how you're able to get these documents that you've put in the annexures. Where did you fish them from? I want that clarity because then the ones with all the signatures were with the external auditors. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I indicated that these documents, we got them from the file of the Chief of Staff. The Chief of Staff, ordinarily what he does is that before he forwards the document, the original document to the Department of Finance, he makes a copy. And when we were given these directives that we need to respond within 3 days, I requested the Chief of Staff to give me a copy of the file that he owns, where these documents are.
Senator Miraj.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. My questions goes to the County Assembly. Are the IFMIS transactions that form the basis of the impeachment of the governor the same ones that are the same ones under investigations at the EACC? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Respond.
Mr. Speaker, we do not know. All we know is that this complaint was also sent to the EACC and to many other agencies. Whether EACC is actually investigating it, we do not know, and there is no evidence, either from the governor or from anyone, that the EACC is investigating these complaints.
Senator Lekina.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I've got two clarifications that I need to get clarified. One is from the lawyer. I was listening to, and the question.
Which lawyer? There are so many lawyers here.
The lawyer for the Assembly. 𝐊𝐀𝐄𝐒. It's a very good name. Volume 3. We are looking at section 45. Protection of public property and revenue, etc. So you referred to 45, 2A, Roman numeral number 2 and 3. And specifically you said goods not supplied or not supplied in full, number 2, services not rendered or not adequately rendered. So the question that I wanted to get clarity from you is whether you are relying 100% on the IFMIS extracts or you've received audited financial statements as per Section 31 of the Public Audit Act. And I want to remind you, Section 31(5) stipulates that after the audit process, they shall be tabled in Parliament and also at the Assembly. So if you can clarify that, I'd really appreciate it. Number 2, I asked this question yesterday. I didn't get a proper clarification. It has come back again today on the issue of the accounting officer. Section 103 of the PFM Act establishes the county treasury, and it puts the CEC in charge of finance as the head of the county treasury. Section 199 of the PFM Act, which is a penalty clause, stipulates penalties which are going to befall any public officer who is in charge of the resources and does not account for them. Could you kindly clarify whether the documents that you've supplied in the case have been audited by the Auditor General and an opinion rendered by the Auditor General on the actual position of those funds? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Council, proceed to respond.
Mr. Speaker, we answered yesterday that the oversight function of the County Assembly and indeed of the Senate is not conditional upon or dependent on whether there is a report by the Auditor General. So it is no requirement that we have a report from the Auditor General as a precondition for raising the issues and picking up the problems that the Assembly has picked in this matter. It is true, Mr. Speaker, that under the PFM Act, the accounting officer would be either the CEC Finance or any other person designated. However, what we have equally found strange, and I think one honorable senator pointed it, the CEC Finance refused, and it's on the record, to submit the documents to the Assembly in our submission on completely outrageous and frivolous grounds. The second matter we found strange is that the documents presented by the governor in answer to the charges are not authenticated by that CEC Finance. They are not authenticated by the chief officer in that department, among other people. We also found it strange, Mr. Speaker, that when this matter arose, the governor chose to call our head of legal as the witness to explain, as opposed to the CEC Finance. There is a question of goods supplied and services not rendered. We cited Section 45 of the Anti-Corruption Act because it is one of the many sections that address this question of prepayments. And the specific reason we cited it, Mr. Speaker, is in our very humble submission, impressed cannot explain the prepayment of 78 million shillings. And even if it were to be accepted for argument's sake, just for argument's sake, that impressed would be an answer, that would be an admission to abuse of interest by the very definition of the same, because the law specifies what type of expenses can be defrayed by way of interest. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Senator Chimera.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for that opportunity. I just have two questions directed to either the witness or the counsel to the governor. The response that you filed before us, Governor, page 105 to page 112, on the if mispayments relates to just 3 individuals, yet what have been given by the County Assembly has many other recipients. Perhaps you can clarify on that. The other question I have is on the if mispayments. There are payments made to one Jane Karimi Kaitha, and on a particular date, I think the 20th of September 2022, she received payments totaling to about 3.9 million in one single day. Are these payments also if mispayments, or they are payments related to other services perhaps? If they are not interest payments rather, how come the county government was paying this particular individual if mispayments as interest and not in other form, maybe RTGS or another form of payment? Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Counsel for Governor.
Thank you. The question, I think, Mr. Speaker, has been directed to either the counsel or the witness.
I proceed to respond then.
Thank you. The reason why we have given documents in relation to 3 people or 3 persons mentioned, the answer is in the motion itself and the manner in which it was framed, where it was indicated, the allegation was that the governor has grossly violated the law in the following: through embezzlement of county funds through the governor's sisters and the nephew to the governor's husband, all of whom are collectively referred to as the governor's relatives. That was A. B says is withdrawal of county funds under the guise of payment for various supplies by the governor's relatives. So the manner in which this particular count was framed, we were required to respond to the issues of the persons referred and collectively referred in the motion as governor's relatives, and they were listed, they were enumerated there. So if the motion indicated that the governor, or the allegation or the claim was that the governor has embezzled funds through Jane Karemi or any other person that appears in the IFMIS, then we would have substantively responded to that.
Thank you. Lastly, Senator Sifuna.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To counsel for the Assembly, there have been repeated references to alleged forgeries. This is specifically with regards to a work ticket whose serial number has appeared severally. I want the Assembly to clarify whether those documents have been subjected to any verification process, which Council is aware, whether there is a document examiner's report to back the allegation or assertion by the Assembly that in fact those documents are forgeries. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Counsel for the County Assembly.
Mr. Speaker, we only received those documents, I believe, on Saturday evening, so we've not had the opportunity to subject them to a forensic examination. However, you don't need to be an expert in forensics to point out that the dates in that work ticket don't follow natural chronology of events. You don't have to be an expert in document analysis if you're familiar with the frequency of the use of motor vehicles to know that the same work ticket cannot apply to different motor vehicles or even the same motor vehicle for a period of 4 months. And it is on those prima facie, on the face of it, discrepancies and irregularities that we concluded they were forgeries. The next reason why we concluded they were forgeries, these are documents that should be easily available in the governor's office. They were not availed to the Assembly when they were requested, and they were not availed to the Assembly in the impeachment motion. We are being slapped with them at the tail end. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Now, counsel for the governor, you indicated you had 4 witnesses. You may now proceed to call your 4th witness.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Our next and last witness is Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the Governor of Meru County.
By way of time indication, counsel, how much time do you think you will need with this witness?
I think that with 1.5 hours, I will be through with the witness.
Swear in the witness.
I, Bishop Kawira Mwangaza, do solemnly swear that the evidence that I shall give before the Senate in respect to the matter before the Senate shall be the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help me God.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Kindly introduce yourself, your full names and the capacity you hold for record purposes.
Thank you, Speaker and Honorable Senators. I'm Bishop Kawira Mwangaza, the Governor, Meru County.
Thank you. You have received the notice of impeachment, and subsequently the County Assembly of Meru resolved to remove you from office through impeachment. Is that the reason why you're before the Senate today?
Yes.
You have had an occasion to look at all the materials presented by the County Assembly in support of the impeachment. You've also had an opportunity to file a response to that motion.
Yes.
That is the response before the Senate, the one dated 3rd of November, 2023?
Yes.
Together with your affidavit in support of your response?
Yes.
Would you wish, first of all, to affirm that the contents therein form part of your response?
Yes.
Thank you. You were also present at the Senate yesterday when counsel for the County Assembly described you in a certain manner through comparison with a certain criminal in Europe.
Yes, I was.
Is that a true description of your personality?
No, not at all.
Not at all. Specifically, the counsel for the County Assembly accused you of demeaning this House by making a mockery of the impeachment process that found you not guilty in December last year. Did you at any time make a mockery of the proceedings?
Counsel for Governor.
No.
Yes.
The counsel for the County Assembly did apologize and indeed sought to have that record expunged. So as far as we are concerned, that particular record does not form part of the record.
Most obliged. Then I withdraw that line of examination in chief and proceed. Madam Governor, you have been accused of not being capable of working with leaders in Meru, particularly members of County Assembly.
And this particular allegation was that you were only able to work for a few weeks after you reconciled with the MCAs. Is that true?
That is not true.
That is not true.
Yes.
To the best of your knowledge, for how long have you been having an harmonious working relationship with members of County Assembly?
We've been working together with the members of County Assembly until the last almost 2 months only.
The last 2 months?
Yes.
Are you talking about the month of August and September?
August and September.
Yes. So it is your evidence that throughout the year, save for the 2 months, you have been in a perfect working relationship with members of County Assembly.
Extra perfect relationship working with members of County Assembly.
What made it possible for you to have this harmonious working relationship with the members of County Assembly? Did you have any intentional efforts to mend the fallout that you had with MCAs? Did you make any efforts after the impeachment?
The first solution was made by this Senate the last time we were here, and I followed the advice of senators. we want to start down with the MCAs. We again sat and had a long, lengthy discussion with some other leaders, and from there we've been working together.
Particularly, there was the issue of, for lack of better word, ward development fund. Were you able to facilitate development projects in all the wards of Meru County?
Immediately after we left here, I facilitated ward development fund to every MCA to the tune of 10 million, and this year 15 million for every ward.
Thank you. You have produced a video, KMV1, which I now ask the technical team to play so that we see the kind of efforts and the fruits that were borne by those efforts. KMV1.
Sisi yaliyopita ni past. Kwa hivyo tumeamua ya kwamba hakuna mtu atakumbuka yaliyopita. Yule alikuwa impeached, wale walikuwa wanaimpishana, yote tumeweka nyuma. Tunasema ni kaenda ya maendeleo na kabati ya maendeleo. Kwa hivyo tunafurahi siku ya leo
Mr. Speaker, sir, we are having the same challenges.
Secretariat.
Tunaomba walio hii ambao wana celebrate maybe disunity.
Just stop the video. The technical team, please go work on it. We will get back to it once the technical team has worked on the system. Council, you may proceed. Once we are ready with the video, we can as well come back to it. We'll always come back to it.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. So then, Honorable Governor, we have just started watching a video that is not very clear, but can you try and explain to this Senate where you were in that meeting that has been recorded, who were the members present, and what was the purpose?
We were in the premises of County Assembly of Meru with all the members, the 69 of them, and also the county woman representative was present, and we agreed that the past is over. We start working together for the sake of Meru.
Thank you. And that, can you remember the date of?
Council, I'm informed the video is now ready.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Let's play it.
Tumeona ni vyema kuwa tuna embrace one another. Mambo yaliyopita tunasema si ndwele ama tunasema ni yaliyopita si ndwele tugange yajayo. Sisi yaliyopita ni past. Kwa hivyo tumeamua ya kwamba hakuna mtu atakumbuka yaliyopita. Yule alikuwa impeached, wale walikuwa na impishana, yote tumeweka nyuma. Tumesema ni kaende ya maendeleo na kabati ya maendeleo. Kwa hivyo tunafurahi siku ya leo kuleta ujumbe kwa Wameru ya kwamba we are one. Na tunaomba walio nje ambao walikuwa na celebrate maybe disunity wakae kando kidogo, maana tunasonga tukiwa pamoja. Hatutakubali kuweka tena nafasi ya watu kuingilia katikati yetu. We've kept our personal interest kando for the people of Meru.
Mimi naitwa Ayubu Kundi, nikiwa spika mbunge ya Meru, na siku ya leo ni furaha kubwa kwa sababu ile shinda kidogo tulikuwa naye kati ya ofisi ya Governor Excellency Bishop Kawira Mwangaza na bunge ile naongoza hapa, tumefika, hiyo maneno imefika mwisho. Sema kulingana na uongozi wa His Excellency William Ruto na deputy wa 𝐊𝐀𝐄𝐑, tulianza kuongea wiki moja imepita, na siku ya leo Mama Safi awimelepa akatumwa na His Excellency 𝐊𝐀𝐄𝐑 akaambiwa akuje tumalize ile maneno ilikuwa imebaki na kila kitu umemaliza.
Amen.
Kwa hivyo sisi tunataka kuambia Meru na Kenya mzima ya kwamba sisi tuko kitu moja na tumekubaliana kwa miaka 4.5 ile imebaki tutafanyia watu kazi na tutakuwa timu moja.
Amen.
Na tunasema asante kwa President 𝐊𝐀𝐄𝐑 kwa kuona ni vizuri Meru iongee kwa sauti moja. Na Governor ni mali nikisema wewe kwa siasa wewe ndio kiongozi na ndiye mkubwa yetu sisi zote. Na sisi tutakuwa nyuma yako, tutakusupport, wewe ukuwa mama yetu na ukuwa baba yetu. Ndio Meru ikae vizuri, kana kama Meru akarebweka. Thank you and God bless you.
Jina langu ni Evans Mahira Karia, MCA wa Mitunguo na kiongozi walio wengi katika bunge letu la Meru. Familia Meru. Na nataka kusema leo ni siku kubwa sana kwa Wameru. Sababu tangu tufanye uchaguzi hapa Meru, tukachagua governor, tukachagua MCAs, hakujakuwa na amani na hakujakuwa na kuelewana katika upande wa bunge letu la Meru na upande wa Governor Excellency Kawira Mwangaza. Lakini siku ya leo sisi tumekubaliana ya kwamba for the interest of Meru tuweke hayo maneno yote ambayo yalikuwa nasumbua, tuwachane nayo kutoka leo na tukamua kushikana na kuelewana kabisa, ndio tuweze kufanyia wa Meru kazi. Na sisi kama bunge letu la Meru tumeambia gavana wetu kwamba sisi tuko tayari, yale ambayo yote yanahitajika kufanywa na bunge, wale mawaziri ambao hatukupitisha, wale chief officers ambao hawakuweza kupita kuletwa katika bunge letu, supplementary budget na mambo yote ambayo yanahitajika sisi kufanya kama bunge, tuko tayari hata kama ni kuanzia kesho ndio tuweze kufanya ku make sure that Marians do receive their services that they do need so much.
We can stop there. We can stop there. Thank you. Are you able to identify the people in that clip? Are they members of the County Assembly of Meru?
They are all members of County Assembly of Meru, led by the Speaker, 𝐊𝐀𝐖𝐈𝐑𝐀.
We have also seen the move of this motion in that clip.
The majority.
The majority.
Yes.
Thank you. In that clip, is there any indication that you bragged about the fact that you went scot-free?
No.
You have also used a certain slogan that you are now being accused of using, Kabati, Kabati, Kaende, Kaende. Did you actually use those two slogans in your speech with members of County Assembly present?
I used it because it is a slogan for development, the speed of development in Meru.
The speed of development in Meru.
That is Kaende, Kaende, Kabati, Kabati.
Just for us to be able to understand, what does this slogan actually mean? What is Kabati? What is Kaende?
Kabati means like accelerating to the fullness of everything, that is highest speed possible. And then Kaende, Kaende is non-stop. That means that the development will be non-stop and at a very high speed.
Thank you. So when then the move of the motion comes here and tells the Senate that Kaende, Kaende, Kabati, Kabati is a don't care slogan that says you don't care about anything, is that a misinformation and distortion of facts?
It is.
Thank you. Let us proceed. So then you are seen in many instances using that slogan, Kabati, Kabati, Kaende, Kaende.
Even the MCAs have embraced the same slogan and they also use it.
Thank you. Let us proceed and watch the next video. And you have alluded to the fact that you agreed to give at least 15 million for every ward for development projects. Was that done?
It was done.
Can we watch video KMV2?
Antojaja gwetwa ja oversight najo ndenda kuburio njubwi muntu uri okuthithiria oversight na ara Nairobi obicine no oversight yeje tureaja tukinyete ndagaceji ni oversight ire kwingi tukwenda ne TV ne Nairobi kana ne kweja gukinya murandi jora tukuona burenda oversight engiraundine kana burendera obicine na ara Nairobi imenyama antojaja tinda gwetwa ja oversight kairi turaugire batu turi mbunge ya Meru no ntubatwe itwe tunengeri mandate MCA no nengeri mandate ya kuthithia oversight ya mirandi yonde ya county government ikatiba ya Kenya no boba nengeri iseria kinya report ire rathoma gwa ya control of budget itibati kwamba gwita ara senate ikamba kuja county assembly ya Meru report ire thithagia oversight ya senate ni report yake ya auditor general na etira uma Kwa mantu jaja nge batorogira oversight ikanirĩtwe na siasa atufanyi nini atutaki itwakirigie ntugita kwa DTF na ara mitungu mantu ja utheru bwa bioro na kinya babu na ibonete mantu bioro bira biaki na ndi twakire plant na ara bioro bira biojura bikeja bikandrinwa igaigwara mitungu project ya million 17 ingaringe nipe bwajairi roje rwa mitungu rwa rwita kwa water supply rwa runywa wa mitungu yonde iruthithiru rehabilitation na project yo nienderete governor 15% done project ya million 18 o mitungu yetu boithatu bugeta kuma karingene ibuje karingene te karingene kara kanyagene kara kamuguru kuma ara karingene ugeta muguru ugeta muchagara barabara yo nethithirwe na yathithirwe na mbeca cia governor ira tugwita cia flagship na nethithitwe na 95% na aru andu boinya gukaura kana gukarotero batita na ndina yetumirite ciringi milioni 5 ringaringira ni governor mpe aibo gutara cia kinyingana mwanga thai 17 plus 18 plus 5 omwenda yake gutara ndagaceje yanu tukinyete aja na aru eji ire gwitwo kwa matumo kirimba bridge na yo bote kuona nirikitie ibora unairo
we can stop there. The
lakini
video
ande
is
governor
quite
na
long.
aru ayikurekia ibethire.
Thank you. Madam Governor, who is the person making that speech in that video?
The majority leader and the person who was the mover of the impeachment motion.
That is Honorable Evans Mawira.
Yes.
You are also seen in that video.
Yes.
Kindly, are you able to recall the date and where that event took place?
I can't recall the date, but the event took place in his own ward.
Which month was that?
I don't remember the month.
You don't remember.
Yes.
Is it recent or?
It is very recent.
Very recent.
Yes.
Thank you. Mawira seems to be making certain remarks about your performance. What is he saying?
He's very right because he's trying to praise the work that we do in Meru County. One, for the 10 million that we usually give for ward development and the flagship projects. What I do as a governor is I go around all the ones and then give the list of all the development projects to the area MCA to read to the people, to understand, and to also for us to be accountable for the funds. Every ward we do a visit with the area MCA, and I usually carry a booklet of the projects, that is ward project and flagship project for the area MCA to read to the people to understand what they are doing. And that is what exactly the majority leader is doing in his own ward.
Can you recall the number of projects that he is mentioning by name that have been done in his particular ward?
In that particular day, we were opening a bridge, just talking about the roads done, and also the bows, and so many other things that we did with more than 50 million.
Thank you. I've actually retrieved the date of that event. It was the 2nd of August 2023, isn't it?
Yes.
Thank you. So then, when you are accused of not being able to work with leaders by the same mover of the motion, do you find some form of hypocrisy?
Yes, and also maybe it's being misled.
Is being misled. Thank you. So as of 2nd of August 2023, the mover of the motion thought that you're perfect and you're in good working relationship with at least all the MCAs.
Yes.
Thank you. Let's move to KM3.
na nethiri isipokuwa tu changes tu kidogo na tumonia na kware na engineer ikabuidwa kinya andro atare ndiri omira rweru kamomora rwete anjiraira tukwirwa ara kukegirwa karabati isa sawa ena rweru ro to kuyagorwo tuina obichi wakwa murire public works.
Thank you. Again, you're seen launching a project,
Yes.
a dam specifically. Which ward is that?
That is Mudhara ward, and the one with the document is the area MCA, Aurelio Murangiri, reading the developments, including the dam that costed us 39 million in his own word.
Are you able to recall the date when you launched this particular dam at Mudara?
I think it's not even 3 months ago.
Less than 3 months ago?
Yes.
Thank you. Now, I will move on to the second issue, which still touches on your relationship with members of County Assembly in respect to projects and 𝐊𝐀𝐿𝐻. Let us play the video KMV20.
mwathani mutura moyo wora wombere ndine eguru wombera bira biona wana bira biona kwa twaja muthenya mbere ya mezo ya kumuthenya jo na arwa
toyamwe na ndina arwa ndangu angeja na njekwa na kanisa kwa kuchokeka ngeibwa na mbona na arwa tina kirao nikea ndina kirao nikea maani wenu ndina kirauni ya kanisa. Bwana asifiwe. Intobiria ukuona kieni negeki. Kinyama ikiele nkwali nayo. Kinyanjukuele tukinyete. Kinyangalele ya ndega. Kinye intobiria vionja tukaeja na buti kingotere kezikari kilio.
Kindly pause the video. You are making certain remarks, and before we go to the remarks, we have also seen the leader of majority again in that video. Where were you with him on that particular day?
That is an 𝐊𝐀𝐿𝐻 program which is run by my family and my church. We usually go to do the 𝐊𝐀𝐿𝐻 every Sunday afternoon, and I always invite if they wish to come and join me on Sundays. And with me is the Honorable Mawila, the mover of the motion or the impeachment, who was also involved in that operation 𝐊𝐀𝐻 Kana Meru.
This was on 13th of August this year, 2023.
13th of August this year.
You are making certain remarks about the capacity in which you are in that event.
Yes, I always tell them that in Operation 𝐊𝐀𝐻 events, they don't see the governor, but they should see their mother, and also a bishop who is coming to assist, not in form of a government, but as a church and as their mother.
Did you explain the source of the resources that you were giving, including the microphone you were holding? I heard you talk about that.
I always do that in every meeting, that everything that I use in 𝐊𝐀𝐻, there is nothing that comes from the county government of Meru, because I've been doing that for the last 12 years.
Thank you. May we proceed with that video?
Naru akarukire mtore ombokirie gitandene ni mheshimiwa wa Ntura 𝐊𝐻𝐿𝐻 Mheshimiwa 𝐊𝐻𝐿𝐻 alingalingire mwali kama pema mbelembeta kanisene aleta shilingi mwemwe ngiri 100 ambera kinyawaga ongere ekirangalisia kumahuta kinyawaga ongere ongera merengeti ya bajojo nali ngalingirwa karwe kabati kayanda wena heshimiwa wetu bale aja tuena DMK tuena Aaron beza batukerie ndaike mwambe tutireta uangi
Wambere na tobara bakameme bamurike mwega na ba TV badikirie. Murandi jojo jo 𝐊𝐻𝐿𝐻. Bapi itu kurukagia budget ira itangu kendele county ya Meru. County Assembly ya Meru na ini mikagia bunge ni majority linda. Na hivyo na kuconfirm na kukujira na gwikira kirore ute shilingi kinyemwe twakurukia ya mbeca cia thirikari kenda ya murandi na jokolea. Kwa uro kuria murandi jokolea kiuria aliuria mantu ja muntu kiumbe murandi jwa Governor Kawira Mwangaza na family yawe na kanisa yawe. Na hikyo naro bukuba tutikwaria mandu mengeja thirikari nundu naro imurandi jo ringithia ngia jo ringithia muntu jangi no tweri jo ringithia ndu bara bayo mabati tutingire tura twa mirengeti uro kuma na makobokobo aja na uro kuma na mattress na mandu ja uja kare sawasa.
Thank you. I think we've had enough of that video. Thank you. Madam Governor, again you are heard and using the same slogan, Kabati Kabati Kaende Kaende.
Yes.
The members of County Assembly were again present.
Yes.
Did they join you in that slogan?
They joined me in that slogan.
Did they understand the meaning of your slogan?
They well understand the meaning of the slogan.
Honorable Kawira is also making certain remarks about the funders of Okolea. What is he saying about who funds the Okolea program?
He says, as the County Assembly of Meru, they are the ones that pass the budget, and they have never passed any coin to be utilized in the Okolea program. It is purely my project to assist the disadvantaged people in our community. And he, as part of the well-wisher, that very early morning, gave me 100,000 shillings to fuel my vehicles.
So he contributed towards your charity project?
Yes.
Let us now move to the next video, 1C, and see another member of County Assembly. I think it's in the same event, you will confirm. 1C.
Governor wetu na ntubanda bene bonde Bwana Yesu asifiwe misalimia mwalimu sana onibeta wandie 𝐊𝐀𝐖𝐈𝐑𝐀 wa Bogeta West na baruguru na ande bara batuthinga tete kanyuma ibaije itoiketie Governor tiru lakini na ande ni ndono kire na uma Sauro na ande beta wa Paulo na ndio wasema ni nani ombeta 𝐊𝐀𝐖𝐈𝐑𝐀 Paulo na ande ni ndongele tienjeshi ya mama.
We can pause there for a moment. Thank you. Who is the person making those remarks?
He is MCA, and he was the mover of the first impeachment.
He was the mover of the previous motion.
Yes.
This again is on 13th of August this year.
Yes.
Do you in any way seem to have any disagreement with the mover of the previous motion?
No, he's even telling the public that he is now a changed man. They used to disturb Mama, but he has changed from Saul to Paul.
That is in difference to the biblical Paul,
Yes.
who was one Saul.
Yeah.
He's also talking about them being forced, if I can hear him correctly, to join the opposition. What was he talking about?
He was talking about the pressure amounted to them by external forces or by external people that do not belong to the county assembly to fight the government, but he has vowed not to repeat again and support the government.
Thank you. Let's proceed watching that video.
The opposition ibogeire Nairobi na batonya kiruto. Ende na aja Meru president wetu arato uitakagina na wikiri andu wetu twete opposition na kwenda tweto. Kile chindwe. Na nino yali ndio ugwani na ndauga mimi satishwa. Mimi sitawekwa uoga. Governor Kawira anga musupport. Ulao kuzoganya no ete antunya itekia boge tanete antunye. Ando boge taiba ina imani nani na ina imani na decision ya kwa support Kawira na ina imani na Kawira. Na nande kwa bate kwa nakuwa tukiwa kumibira blades. Abo andekera.
We can stop there for that video. Thank you. Honorable 𝐊𝐀𝐄𝐄 says, mimi sitatishwa, sitaweka uoga. What was he making reference to?
He was making reference to the leaders, the national leaders, and also the party leaders that were telling them to keep off from supporting the government. And also he is also talking about the Kumi Bila breaks, because the people of Meru have started another slogan again, Kumi Bila breaks, and they were warned as MCAs not to continue saying Kumi Bila breaks. So he's telling the people that come from Nairobi to keep off. They want development.
Thank you. We will be moving on to the source of that pressure, sourcely. But finally, in support of your Okolea program, let us watch video 1E. It's a very short video.
Bishop untongeretie mbunge lina timu kona tueneo patutu sawa antubetu support ni Kiambi support ni Njoke tu support ni gavana wetu ni tutte maendeleo jejara kwinai kwinandwa maendeleo jejara kwinai kwinokiri au ange gavana iwe munene okwa na munene weje na ng'ombe tumba kweja na ng'ombe ende ngavana ndi murevi ndetha ya ng'ombe ndetha ya mburi kuinga yu urambikire ng'ombe na mburi ya
We can stop at that. Madam Speaker, who is the person making the remarks in that video?
This is the Speaker of County Assembly of Meru.
And you confirm this was during an Okolea program meeting?
Yes, in Mwangaza ward, Mojo.
Who is the MCA Mwangaza ward?
It's Mr. Njoke.
Mr. Njoke.
He was present.
You also are in the company of other people in that?
Those are all MCAs.
Our MCAs?
Yes.
What has the Speaker just done?
The Speaker has donated a goat because I usually give the single mothers and widows cows. And he says, because you've given and donated a cow and you are senior than me, let me donate a goat. And he has done it.
Thank you. Again, what date was this?
It is barely around 3 months ago.
3 months ago. Now, we have alluded to some forces that were behind, or rather that were not happy with this unity between you and MCAs. I want you to identify and tell us what is happening in the next video, 1D. Kindly, may we play video 1D?
MCA gukaribisha ntora ya Bogeta East na mbuge wotwe on behalf ya ntoba Bogeta East na Abogeta West na wenzangu bare aja tucokerie nkatho nontu bwe kinya rire okinya oni mbigirwe ntoba kwithira nte aja nontu rire okinya gatia kana kara kamumero kuringithia gagatia ipati yakwa na inkuigwa kweli imbati kweja kuona nontu ni pati ya maendeleo ndene ntura yetu. So ngabana we are so humble tugwiritwe sana baju tuli MCA tuli PIDU na ikio tumio kuona na arwa tutena manto amaingi na arwa intukwe gokorea kana kamumero na mami umenye baju tuli PIDU
na ndenda ugire ngabana tukamukaria na inya na ora kumbikika kendo mbako boli trangugi no ndo twamwagia thayo tukona inya ya twamwagitie thayo ateja gaguku na nande mbigirwe torirwe tukaria siasa nenu yete mbokani alimo muntu ondu ukwoya maratasi nande kora ndu bara kamatete ile leta ubirana na mawa na ito abatumira Nairobi gutegera imbie to michukari ra itirie bategera imbie to miogoti bukuongerwa gutokwarĩrio goti ingavana bakweja ubira mbesa ikwikwa senate counties ciongerwa mbesa ibaregere kuongera ndi baliuga ibejete kwa base ule base mbesa iriku
ututu ninaku Madam Governor na ukageta muntu ututu ugira tuga tire no ngatu nyongera we ni ntobya Meru ala tumba kugera twabwitira nguge iyo tumba guchinja as long as Kawira Mwangaza we ni ntobya Meru oni ndekire mbwe matu wambirani isa sawa na
we can pause there. We have seen the first speaker, no, actually the second, the one in the black jacket. Are you able to identify him?
Is the mover of the first motion of impeachment, 𝐊𝐀𝐂𝐄𝐒.
He is heard making certain remarks about Keberi and forces from Nairobi. What
MPs and also the senator that they should keep off Meru because they have their own leader, maybe referring to the end of state, and then the MCAs have their own leader. And he says last weekend they were in a certain town named Maua, where they earned the Keberi, the starring stake or spoon, meaning the governor, and they are saying that they will not be part and a parcel of what the members of parliament are doing.
Thank you. So the honorable member for County Assembly, Abogeta West, talks about a force that is being advanced using the Keberi tool. That is what he's saying?
Yes.
And he's telling them to keep off?
Yes.
Thank you. Let us move to video KMV 14. KMV 14, kindly.
Na bakaya batuana na badiri manto yo differences sisi omba kwa dirio bature MCA bembe tute tayari utonye ratio so ende atukuromba tu burungu arembere governor na deputy governor bomba kwa bajo hata naira nikenda tukomba kutukinda weta ture anto amwe ture anto bembe na ture MCA na tongeri bonde brantu badurite ende na imani manto yo onde akaombekana lakini tute kuenda zaitu akulupia budget siasa ikaanjiria nikenda mwembe akomba kwa ita ya maendeleo so baba kwa ya na manto Keberi Keberi mwana Keberi na soka agreement mwana Keberi na soka tiania manto yembe na de kanaryo e ambe tu kongangare ko karia mama non to MPs beto odompu wayo ke gongwa ko mama ende muntu aru mogeni ajo to janganya agili otobo gi agili ate to ore mama we are not ready ende ro ko lo gubutu ko na Keberi keu aya te gati ana Keberi nyege ato ate ana jo ko gran koromba neo iba imenyere lakini kwa kweli maendeleo wale tatizo wale maendeleo ende manto Keberi na ina Keberi to to genda ne mbere yetu embe to atandete embe ronde kumanto nyire mwanka dos to egento kemwe noro kaingilia atasiaro
antu bonde baraba kwenda kurwa bare jegende baberanga mwegembe akugitwa mwegembe akuditwa lakini utinya mwegembe umwo kumara tata nontore mwegembe wangu none tote makosa Kawira Mwangaza nayo antu baraba kuja gutata bakere egembe re kuinyewa iba kuma inventi bange bakumatigania iba badiorokete sese Keberi badiorokachete Kegeri badiorokachete oversight you chonde nunto egembe wena regete nunto naije.
Thank you. We can post that video there. Governor confirmed that was on 27th of August this year.
Yes, 27th of August.
This year?
Yes.
Are you able to tell who the people speaking in that video are?
Those are all MCAs from Igembe, apart from one who comes from Central Imenti. The rest are Igembe MCAs.
They are making a specific grievance about siasa za Keberi. What are they talking about?
They are talking about the members of parliament who had just begun a movement by the name Keberi, coming all the way from Nairobi to Meru, and they are warning them that they have been given work to do in Nairobi, they should continue with their work there and leave them alone, because they have only one mama who can assist them to do development.
Thank you. So this was 27th of August 2023. Honorable Governor, if then someone comes here and says that you only were able to work with MCAs for a few weeks, are they lying or they're telling the truth?
That is pure lie.
Thank you. We want to understand this Kiberi movement, siasa za Kiberi movement. And I want you to listen carefully to video 3A and see where, or the source, the genesis of the Kiberi movement. 3A. Are you able to even explain what he's saying?
He's talking about that. They will use that thing to. I'm not able to explain. Because it has been done by so many men, and now they are ready as members of parliament, him being the leader, to do that to me. And he has recruited so many young men for the purpose of that Kiberi movement, together with the Deputy Speaker of this House.
Can we watch KMV 12?
Tumetoseka kutawaliwa vibaya na mkora asiosiwa, anafaa kuongezwa akatoka kwa tumbo na simiti na mawe ndio asisikie njaa tena. Wangapi wanasema Kawira aende? Kawira mbae, lakini tunataka kiti ya mtuma apewe, kiti yake andipute yake, magari rudishwe, security apewe, kila kitu apewe, na kiti ya finance, kiti ya pesa apewe. Kwa ndo ndela Kiberi. Ndio kuna mkomeno wa Remera arome ando Kawira. Kwa hivyo sisi tunaunga mkono hiyo
Mheshimiwa Mporo, na asante kwa kunialika. Tuendelee namna hiyo. Kazi yetu ni kushikanisha kila mtu. Asanteni sana ndugu zangu. Thank you very much.
Madam Governor, I hope you are able to explain again, or perhaps the message has sunk, what these honorable members are telling members of the public.
The honorable members of Parliament and the Deputy Speaker of this honorable House is telling the public that I defeated men, and in this case, they are going to use that steering stake and they recruited so many young men for that purpose, and they have been holding rallies almost in all towns in Meru, doing the same over the weekends. Honorable Speaker, I want to say this is purely politics. Purely politics.
Thank you. There is another video, I think that will be my last, 3C on the gender profiling and harassment. 3C. 3C.
Mukuru ku ingwendo kuona uliki na tuwe America enda ugekana kamurega lakini tuwe kamurega tena kana. Tumekwana boloi. Angwendo mwe Kawira Mwangaza utendwa leo ukavatia mwana mwene ukidata. Tumekwana boloi. Tuenda kuwa kena tutike murega baichu imukuru ku ya mwana nwe. Ya pronto abori agera mono mbele na kayuyu agwa baile agwa bada tenjamba loi kantenjamba kana ko mtoda la odora masiara de kuerega nanchoke mbele na keberio gwa keda kala hekeda Kawira udire hekeda Kawira ko kwekeda no ale mera rume Kawira hango nyo yekeda hango ndenda kenda menya wo mwekuru wale mwekuru muchoro kwa etawa mwenda no mulungire teke urenga wayo kiandaka endukisha ndaka siakwa no mwekuru mukuru.
Thank you. The honorable member is making certain remarks about your husband. What is he saying?
He's saying that he has given me 9 months to be pregnant. And if that is not done, you'll do it via what is holding.
Eventually, Honorable Governor, your deputy joined the movement and made similar attacks on you and on your Korea program. Can we watch KMV4?
Kweta Tharaka County tobatethie. Kweta Embu County tobatethie. Kweta Isiolo County tobatethie. Ukorea kirundu kia thina kia pumbate kia kuewa. Itokwenda kinya tukweyana.
Hapo sana didi.
Wewe governor. Pumbate program. Kirundu keke pumbate program wetu okolea. Matwe murungu wake tueterra muntu.
nonto kerunduke anto bembe bekua tote okenda bekwerwa kerunduke wikireti makiri bagwa togorea iyo mathina yaba ya
We can stop there. Thank you. Honorable Governor, that is your Deputy Governor.
Yes.
He's making certain remarks about the 𝐊𝐀𝐄𝐄 program.
Yes.
What is he saying?
He's saying that the 𝐊𝐀𝐄𝐄 program is a poverty program. They have refused it in their area, the area that...
Which area is that?
That is 𝐊𝐻𝐵 South, where he comes from.
So he's telling members of his ward to reject the...
To reject the poverty program, that is 𝐊𝐀𝐄𝐄, and they should not be ready to receive anything in terms of 𝐊𝐀𝐄𝐄. And Honorable Speaker, to add to this, for the last 12 years, I've been doing the 𝐊𝐀𝐄𝐄, and this gave me favor before God. And my Deputy Governor, who was just a prison askari, God gave us favor because of this program. And out of the program that raised him from being askari to His Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Meru, is the same person that is seen on video, the campaigning or demeaning the same program that God used to give us favor before men and women.
And he continued, and we watch KMV 15. 15. That video was played yesterday, but for your sake, can you explain what the youths are chanting, led by your Deputy Governor?
That is my Deputy Governor with some youths from his area saying that Kawira doesn't have a home. She only does prostitution in the county. And they are praising him and warming him up to be the governor or take over the position of the governor of Meru. And that is exactly what has been happening to our members of parliament, including the senator or deputy senator of this house. They have started warming him up to be the governor and take charge because I'm just a woman before them.
Thank you. It got worse by slaughtering of a cow that you had donated. Can we watch KMV 16? Confirm whether that's the same cow you had donated and to whom had you donated the cow. We can stop there. Thank you. Thank you. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but I see like the cow is still alive as it's being slaughtered.
Yes.
Was that the cow you had donated?
Yeah, we were in the area of the Igembe South, and then we identified the old woman who was to be given the cow as it was entering into the field. Then they took the cow, slaughtered it just before us.
And they are singing the same song, but they're also making other remarks. What are the other remarks?
Before I say about the other remarks, is that hiyo ng'ombe ilikuwa imebeba ndama ya miezi 6. And then they are saying that the same way they have slaughtered or killed the cow is the same way they will do to Kawira Mwangaza.
Thank you. We can have the video removed from the screen. That has not also been the only thing. You have also been accused of not being a proper Meru. Are you aware of that fact? What? That you have been accused of not being a proper original Meru, therefore unfit to lead?
Yes, they have been accusing me of not being a Merian, but a Kikuyu.
Thank you. Let's first watch KMV5. You will make those explanations.
Ina Kawira Mwangaza. Aita wanaona. Kuna gari zaidi. Ina aita mwana. Hello. Kawira. Umbe wa mwego. Bato tuapa imwego tuapa imwa tuombe umiete. Hemo tuapa Meru ni tokere ya umbe mwana wao au tupita kabilao.
What is the Honorable Member of Parliament saying in respect to your ethnicity?
He says that the father of Kawira Mwangaza is a Kikuyu from 𝐊𝐀𝐖𝐈𝐑𝐀 by the name Jogona, and the mother is Mogore from Kikuyu, and they don't want to be ruled by a Kikuyu in Meru. That's why they want to change to get a real Merian, who is Peter Katirau Munya, the first governor.
Thank you, Madam Kawira. Is it then your evidence before this Senate that pressure has been asserted on members of County Assembly to ensure your removal from office on charges that do not hold any water?
Pressure has been mounted to members of County Assembly of Meru by the same leaders, as we have seen, and they had no option apart from adopting an impeachment motion where they were forced to sign and impeach.
Can we watch KMV 11 on the nature of that threat and whether the MCAs indeed succumbed to the pressure?
Na bunduki ila ina chochi ando icha kuromba. Baate menya to ibia mene ora ugatwira mbazi ni kiraitu. Na ndiro ruuri ndo akiraitu na bunduki cia bako rombete ri. ukawa na ukawa soka ndo ya bunduki dole ntoleka umogira bunduki cia UNDA bange baibia mene no menya atadhuri yake ama ukiro ujando no menya bunduki lawe na sisi ya Kolombo bati kwa very careful wakara.
Is that the same Saul turned Paul, going back to being Saul?
What 𝐷𝐀𝐄𝐒 is telling the public is that because I was elected as an independent governor, I've been operating with hired guns. And now Mithika Rintori has taken his own, Kiraito has taken his own, so I'm left without any weapon to fight, and I should be very careful because they have withdrawn their support as the leaders of political parties or as the senior most people in their parties.
That is barely 3 weeks after 𝐷𝐀𝐄𝐒 had been seen dancing, praising you, and saying that he will defend you and will reject any influence from above.
It was like 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Let us watch then 3E.
Ilo tokuwa batu ilo tukiama kia UNDA no tudugani ku withdraw support tukwete mwanga kwa majority rinda to withdraw as nini manzo chondo tukulidire kire ku support kira assembly tukiama no to withdraw membership betu na bati ku support kaire.
Thank you. Who is the person speaking in that video and what is he saying?
Is the Honorable Senator, Deputy Speaker of this Honorable House, and he's saying that he might withdraw or is ending to withdrawing support of UDA members from being part and parcel of my agenda of development in Meru County.
Was that withdrawal, threat to withdraw, made a reality?
Indeed, after I spoke that, after 3-4 days, it was made a reality.
Let us watch KMV9 on whether that support was actually withdrawn. KMV9.
Must prevail. Number 9, we officially withdraw our support from the governor due to recent events and our proven inability to lead effectively. Our deaf honorable members are instructed not to in any way associate with the governor in person, Honorable Bishop Kawira Mwangaza. Number 10, we express support for the impeachment of Governor Kawira Mwangaza for the best interest of the people of Meru County and commit ourselves without reservation to this cause, which we commence forthwith. Number 11, we support CS Honorable Meru Members' political leadership and endorse the proposal to make him the county's spokesperson for a unified voice of Meru County. Number 12, we applaud the newfound unity among political leaders except Governor Kawira Mwangaza for the sake of peace and development.
Thank you. KMV8, I think that is self-explanatory. KMV8. KMV8.
I've been given instructions by our SG, who is Honorable 𝐊𝐀𝐄𝐒, that as Jubilee, forthwith, I'm going forward with Jubilee withdraws its support to one Honorable Kawira Mwangaza.
Kabla December tutakuwa na gavana mwingine mpya, kwa sababu hii ni kitu tulianza kitambo na tulianzia hapa. Kwa hivyo tuna vita na wewe gavana kwa hili ya kuonana. Tulikuwa
Those are members of County Assembly, and with them is one member of National Assembly. I think he has spoken in Swahili and English. There is no need to emphasize. Was there a press conference formally by other parties to withdraw their support? And I'm looking at 𝐊𝐀𝐖𝐈𝐑𝐀, and I think that is my last video on this issue of withdrawal. 𝐊𝐀𝐖𝐈𝐑𝐀.
In this county, we have decided forthwith to withdraw the support within and outside the assembly that we have given our governor. Number 3, we have resolved to start a fresh impeachment motion to the governor of Meru, one Honorable Bishop Kawira Mwangaza, and we have already signed, appended our signatures, the 27 of us who form or comprise the Kenya Kwanza caucus in the county assembly in preparation for a fresh impeachment motion.
Thank you. I think we can stop there. Thank you. Madam Governor, you have seen a series of press conferences by various leaders of county assembly, all seeking to withdraw their support. Were the timings of these press conferences within the same period of time?
It was within the same period of time.
Can you remember the month?
I think it's not more than 2 months ago.
That is the month of September?
Yes.
What do you attribute towards the sudden change of heart from you being their darling, being a performer, being their mother, to now castigating you in the manner they are doing, to the extent of them withdrawing support? Is there anything gross you did to provoke them, to the best of your knowledge?
I did totally nothing. And from the last clip, you can hear the mover of the motion saying that around 27 of them have already signed an impeachment that they are proposing to have. So they signed way back even before. That is what he has said. Number 2, the pressure from members of national government, some few elites, leaders, some few leaders of political parties, the Deputy Speaker of this Honorable House, before God, I want to say they are misleading our MCAs.
Thank you. Governor, it got to the extent that even in the performance of your official duties, you are threatened and barred from performing that which you are allowed to do under the Constitution. Is that true?
Yes.
Can we watch KMV6 and tell us where you are, what you're doing, and what happened? You can pause there for a minute. We see you clearly there, Honorable Governor, and there is a young gentleman speaking. Tell us what he's saying and what you are doing in that event and exactly where you are.
That is an event done by the county government of Meru. The county assembly passed a budget for us to take care of the disadvantaged mamas in our community. And that program is dubbed as 1 cow per 1 poor family. We go around the villages. We have a committee to vet and see the most vulnerable person in that certain area. We take a cow to the area and give or donate as government to that particular person that has been vetted by a committee that includes the area chief.
Thank you. So this is not part of your COLEA program? for clarity purposes.
This is not part of my 𝐊𝐀𝐄 program. My 𝐊𝐀𝐄 program we usually do on Sunday afternoon, and this is an official duty, a program that as county government employees and done purely by the county government of Meru. 1 cow per 1 poor family.
Was there any commotion or violence in that event?
There was no commotions. We started with the prayers, as you can see, and we went silently, we did not even advertise. Those are just the neighbors that saw what is happening and came just to see.
You confirm this was in the homestead of one of the poor Meru women?
It is in the homestead of the beneficiary.
Thank you. Can we watch that clip again from the beginning all through to the end?
Gavana, Gargani, natoka na wewe? Kuja tuongee. Ngoja tu tuongee.
Kiangalia hapa hizi.
Tuende pole pole. Wewe watu watoke. Unapata dakika 10 tu peke yake hapa. Watu watoka waende. Mtoke muende.
Inaenda.
Mtoke muende. Hapa tunataka kwanza vita. Mtoke muende.
Huyu ananibebea nini?
So, madam, what there is?
Amenibebea nini?
Ile iko.
That is the question.
Nimeongea na yeye.
So, Madam Governor, this is an official function of the head of the county. Why are the police disrupting your function?
The same leaders. It doesn't specifically mention the leader that had sent him, but now the influence from the national leaders.